Okay, you saw the title, you know what's up. So basically this video is going to be a couple of things I wish I knew before I came to JC. So this is Joshua. He was in your exact position 1 year ago. Okay, not really his IP, but that's besides the point. After receiving his absolutely phenomenal O-level results of raw, basically you can go any school you want, he was plagued with the same decision you're facing now. 1,000 thoughts running through your mind, a cluster of relief, elation, stress, fear and anxiety slowly eating you up. And in general, feeling very uncertain of which decision to make. And stressing a lot over which one will be the right one for you. Okay, for me, I was also IP, so I already signed my life away to 6 years of high school plus JC after PSLE. But that's besides the point. You are an O-level student and you still have a choice, so hopefully this video will be of some value to you and show you a peek into what JC life looks like. Okay, so let's assume you're deciding between Poly and JC. First, let's talk about some fundamental differences between the two. Basically, JC is more geared towards uni, while Poly is more geared towards the workforce itself. Okay, so JC, at the end of 2 years, you take this paper called the A-levels. And you basically get a certificate, the A-level certificate, which you can use to apply for many different uni courses. On the other hand, Poly is more geared towards the workforce because you get a diploma, which you can also apply for uni courses, but you can also directly use it and start working. If you have a direction or passion that you're already super invested in, I highly suggest going Poly because you're able to learn more targeted stuff to like the industry that you want to work in the future. Whereas JC is more of like buying time, but at the same time also like preparing for uni. So like we learn some first level uni stuff and stuff like that. Okay, so let's assume you already set your mind on JC because childhood indoctrination and you are quite guy that likes following the tradition. Well, this is a checklist of things you might experience in JC. Schools sometimes like to deliberately set harder papers so that for the actual A-levels you actually do better. So just be prepared to get a couple of U's in your term in JC. JC also involves a lot of independent learning. I think this was something that I wasn't very used to when I first came to JC. Like, you know, in high school, they used to like spoon feed you with information and knowledge. But in JC, actually a lot of the things you have to like learn and like understand yourself. Like teachers still do teach, but okay, firstly the quality of teaching is kind of questionable. Secondly, like whether you get good teachers or not, right? It's like kind of based on luck and like RNG. Worst come to worst, you just have to be ready to like figure it out on your own. Or just make sure that you have good friends that you can count on not to copy homework but to learn alongside and with them. Okay, according to statistics, 33.395% of students get into a relationship within the first 5 months of JC. We're just kidding, the statistic is fake. Also, there's no way to collect data. Yeah, but just be prepared to see a lot of couples around, especially the first 3 months after orientation. Okay, but for real though, like a lot of IP students are like very starved of interaction with the opposite sex after like 4 years of being in a boys/girls school. So when they come to JC, like they jump at the first opportunity to get in a relationship, which is not wrong, like it's part of growing. I was also like that for like a period of time. I was like very hungry for love and like craving companionship and shit like that. Okay, but real talk, right, I think it's very important to like love yourself and like work on yourself first. Like a relationship should be codependent, right, not dependent. Because only after you love yourself will you have like the confidence and security and also stability to go and love another person. You might end up experiencing everything I've mentioned, or you might not end up experiencing any of these things at all. Which is all fine, but this is just a couple of things that JC has in store. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? Okay, friendships are really quite easy to make in JC. Like in Poly, it's uni style, so you like hop around classes and you don't get a lot of time to interact with like a fixed bunch of people. But for JC, like classes are generally quite fixed, and unless you have like different subject combis, like most people will just stay in one class, especially like the science classes. So like the common time, common place is really like a good breeding ground for like friendships lah. But in a sense, like what class you get like allocated into and like whether you vibe with the people of the class is kind of RNG and based on luck. But then I can't say for all, but for myself, I'm very grateful to have found some of the most aligned friends that I've ever made in JC. And I think the memories we created over like the past 1 year is something that I'll like treasure even after I graduate. Okay, it's not wrong when people say JC has mugger culture lah. Like, there are definitely a lot of overachievers around here. And sometimes it can feel like you're the only stupid fish in like a sea of incredibly smart fishes. But don't worry, because there are people as stupid as you. No, just kidding. Okay, these overachievers can feel quite daunting at times, but don't compare yourself with them. Like, the only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself from the past. A better way to approach it is to learn from them and talk to them, and also try to grow and learn alongside them. But honestly, JC is not as boring as it seems. Like, there are actually a lot of school events where you're able to have fun, from council events to faculty/house events, as well as independently organized performances and concerts. Like, these are all opportunities for you to have fun with your friends, and these will become like some of the core memories that you bring with you even after JC ends. Make sure that you also make the time to rest, take a step back and smell the roses a bit, and enjoy the scenery along the way. Okay, yeah, we're back at the same spot. Okay, so if I had to condense down JC into 3 qualities, it will be hard work, discipline, and time management. In JC, there's really not a lot of time outside of acads. So if you want to pursue something else like your passions or like your CCA stuff, like, you really have to find a time and make time to make those things happen. In JC, you'll realize there are a lot of opportunities lying around, and knowing yourself enough to the point where you're able to narrow down on what's most meaningful for you, really dialing in on that like one thing that you feel is the most meaningful to you will actually help you get a lot more progress, rather than trying to like scatter your attention, trying to do a bunch of different things but then in the end doing nothing. Okay, and it's also an art to manage and walk out of burnouts. With all your commitments and everything, like even like the intensity of like acads here, you'll sometimes feel cranky, frustrated, completely dead in school, restless, super sleep deprived, and frankly sometimes you just feel like exploding. But you need to like keep it in, you know, like stay alive and keep moving and find healthy coping mechanisms. I would say like the bread and butter of like stress management is finding good coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms are the things that when you're in a very dark place will help to pull you out and help establish a good like foundation for what you want to achieve. It's like habits, except like it's not really the day-to-day, but it's like to draw strength from the daily things whenever you need that strength. And for me, I try to develop healthier coping mechanisms, such as running, spending time with friends, and sometimes listening to really emo music at night, but that can be a rabbit hole. I feel the worst thing you can do is bring that negativity and spread it to others, be it your family or your friends. Because everybody's fighting their own demons, right? Like, you never know what another person is going through. So all we can do is be empathetic, grateful, and genuine, and just love the world as it is, and I'm sure the world will love you back too.
3, 2, 1.
Bro, step forward.
1.
Oh my God.
In life, you have to make a lot of decisions by yourself. The first one being PSLE and which secondary school to go, and now O-levels on whether to go to JC, Poly or ITE. And the scary thing is that there's no right answer. In some alternate universe, there are other versions of you who have made different decisions and ended up in different paths. So my advice is just make the best decision with the knowledge that you have at this point of time, and make a decision you can live with and won't regret.